What's up, everybody? Welcome back to What Do You Know About a Mortgage, where we celebrate the lives of people that I think are cool in the industry in several different genres. And then at the end, we put them on the hot seat and we find out what do they truly know about a mortgage. This is sponsored by the Gaylord Hanson team at Loan Depot. Make sure you check us out. Today, we have a special guest, one of my mentors and good friends, and someone who I look to as inspiration. If you don't know this man here, he is a producer, singer, and songwriter for the likes of Beyonce, J-Lo, Chris Brown, Mariah Carey, Diddy, the list goes on. So many more. Adonis Shropshire, how you doing, my brother? Thank you so much for coming to the show. Appreciate you.
Yes, sir. Bro.
And I just want to cue the audience in right away to all the glory that you have and all the things that are still sunshine and unicorns.
Yeah.
What keeps you hungry? What keeps you working towards the next thing now that Beyonce is checked off the list? And how do you go from Beyonce to anybody else?
Well, you know what it is, bro? It's I am forever a student, right? I call myself a professional learner.
Good.
Right?
That's a good word.
You know, something that I've always been a huge subscriber of, right? Is the moment you stop growing, you start dying.
Facts.
Right?
Super facts.
It's plant. Same thing.
Yep.
Right? And so I'm always looking for whatever the next challenge is, whatever the next, experience could be, something that I could. We want to have those stories sitting in the rocking chair. Every guy wants that story, the rocking chair stories, right? And so that's ultimately what it is. Even having Beyonce on the list to check off, sure, but I'd love to do it again. Like, why not? You know what I mean? So that's really what it is.
Let me ask you, not to put words in your mouth, do you kind of look at it like, man, Beyonce, but I didn't do Bono?
Facts.
You know what I mean?
No, seriously.
I didn't do anything with this one. So.
Seriously, 100%. Because when I look at my catalog, right, I pretty much got to work with every urban or contemporary pop artist, with the exception of Rihanna. That's the only one that I didn't get, right?
Okay. So Riri's still out there. We gotta get the
that's
song
the
with
only
Rihanna.
one. That's the only one I didn't get. And then, obviously, One Republic. I worked with Ryan Turtle one time.
Okay.
Right, but like you said, Bono, no. Sting, no. God rest his soul. Like, you know what I mean?
Right.
So there's still people out there that are on my bucket list to work with. Chris Martin, you know what I mean?
How dope with Coldplay.
Calvin Harris.
Dope.
Like, you know what I mean?
Really
so that
dope,
there's across different genres, there's people that I got my eye on. I'm trying to key in on them.
Yes, sir.
But that's it.
Yes,
that's
sir.
really it. Yeah.
So for the people who don't know or might not have any recollection or heard anything about you before, how did you get your start? What brought you into music? How did you know you had a gift at a young age? Because I'm guessing from a young age you knew.
Yeah.
We all kind of know in life
Facts,
where our talents lie as we get older.
Yeah.
Some stumble upon it later, and some have it right away.
Yeah.
Were you one of the people that had it right away, and how did you know? And kind of explain that.
Kind of right away. So it's a funny story, right? So my family is extremely musical. Okay. My uncle is the pastor of my church.
It always starts at the churches. I don't know how in the Black community every church got a musical genius in it.
You know that, right? So my uncle is the pastor of my church. My mom was the choir director. All my aunties were in the choir, and then so was I, right?
You had no choice.
Bro,
music was just,
I was in church.
On you.
Listen, I was in church Sunday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Saturday.
You had one of them mamas.
Yeah. Like,
Bible study,
that was
junior
it.
Bible study,
that's
choir
what we
practice.
did, right? And so I was 3 years old, first time I ever sung in front of people at church. Like, obviously, I sung for my mom at home and all that kind of stuff. And she would invite her friends over.
Do you remember that moment?
Absolutely. 100%.
A lot of people don't recollect that, like 5 minutes where, wow.
I remember grabbing the microphone. I had on a white suit. It was Easter.
Wow.
Had on a white suit. And I was singing my very first, this is so funny because the only song I knew how to sing in church was Silent Night. So it's Easter though. Just follow me, bro. Okay. So I'm singing Silent Night on Easter because I wanted to sing. And I just remember the reaction of the crowd. Hey, man, people standing up. You better sing, baby. And that feeling, whatever that thing was, that electric thing I felt.
You knew right then.
Oh, man, I got to feel this all the time. What is this?
Right.
What is this? Like, you know what I mean? And so from there, bro, every step I took was, in the direction of trying to become a professional recording artist.
Wow.
As a kid, I think I told you this before, but at 11, I was in a group with Usher. We're from the same hometown, so he was my best friend as a kid.
Hold on. You can't just throw that out there. Just skip over.
I thought
he wasn't in a group
before.
with JJ and Alex and them. He's just in a group with Usher. I mean, just throw that out there. Go ahead.
Well, I did. I guess I didn't tell you, but yeah. So we're both from the same hometown. So, yeah, we were in a group together at 11. Like we were together every single day.
It was really kind of destined for you.
Yeah, but you know this. There are guys that have the potential and have the correct path set in front of them, and somehow or another they
veer off the road. Yeah,
I don't know how.
They didn't have a Tesla.
They just want to take this hard left for some reason, right? I don't know.
No, you still had to put in the work. You still had to, but it's beautiful how it lined up.
Oh yeah.
Even your first group had
yeah.
You know what I mean? So there's certain things you could see on your arc as you look back now, like, wow.
Sure, yeah.
Wow, that's a blessing.
Yeah.
Now, with that being said, is anybody in your family that you feel at this moment, I'm calling them out, family members, that can beat you with singing? Who's the illest singer in the family?
So you know what? What's funny is so the older generation, my mom, my auntie, all of my aunties on my mom's side can go, right? My mom was the one that had the jacket on, though. Like, she would be the one going to different churches where people would have guest singer Adonis Shropshire.
Right.
And so, what's funny is she would have me practice her songs with her when I was a kid. So she actually
helped you with harmonies, tones, melodies.
You hear me?
I got you.
So she would be like, baby, come in here and, tell me if you like this line when I do this like this, or how would you do it? I was 8, 9 years old.
Wow.
And she was training me.
Already grooming you.
Yeah, like that, right? And so if I would say anybody got me, her, my mama.
Wow. Yeah.
My mama had the Shirley Caesar thing tough. That's what people was calling her in the city.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, bro. It was cool. I was proud of my mama.
Of course, right? Of course, right? You're always proud of moms.
Yeah.
Now, fast forwarding a little bit into your career, going from the Usher situation in the group and the whole thing, to putting yourself into your first meeting at Bad Boy Records. And for those who may not know, I know we have it up here on the board. Bad Boy in the 1990s ran R&B and hip-hop. There's no comparison.
Yeah.
You couldn't turn on any radio station, whether it was Kiss FM or Hot 97, and not hear Diddy or some Bad Boy song on there. So at that time, for those who may be a little bit older, it'd be like walking into Motown and saying, "Hey, Berry Gordy, I can sing," and him be like, "Go."
Yeah.
So how was that meeting, that first introduction? Were you nervous? How did it go?
So it's a longer story, but we'll say that for later.
Okay.
I think we'll want to get.
We're gonna bring
that.
it back. We have part 2. Yeah. We can't get it all in one show.
The very first time that I sat down with him, he looked at me and said, "You a songwriter?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "Okay, here's a beat. Go." It was really that.
Right on the spot.
There was no like, "Oh, well, let me hear some other stuff you've written." Oh,
yeah.
What, have you?
I know you probably had brought stuff like, "Hey,
no,
I recorded."
I didn't.
Oh, you didn't?
I didn't. Because I'm okay. Have you ever heard of the phrase, "I interview well"?
Yes.
Right? Yeah. In front of you? Like, you know what I mean?
Right.
And I know that's my gift, is that I present great.
Very well. Gotcha.
So, I'm thinking, okay, well, if I can just get in front of him, like, he may not hear something if I just play it. But if I get in front of him,
my energy,
and he sees me do it,
tap into it,
that's a different thing, right?
Good. Okay.
So that's what I was preparing for. So I didn't bring no music.
Okay.
So, he gave me this to write. He walked out. He came back in 15 minutes. He was like, "What you got?" I only had like a verse.
He only gave you 15 minutes?
15
to write a whole song.
But you gotta understand, this is the highest level.
Yeah, no, this is it.
This is like going from high school to
the Yankees, to the Lakers.
Facts, to the
right
Yankees,
away.
There you go.
Right.
So 15 minutes, boom, he comes back. I only had a verse. Okay. And music started going. I started singing the first couple of lines, like, "It's all right." He said, "Boop, nope, that's not it."
Within the first few seconds.
3 words. Like, no exaggeration.
Pressure.
Right?
Wow.
He was like, "That's not it. Write it again." So I'm like, oh, dang, okay. I'm kind of mad because I felt disrespected, but then I'm like, this is my idol. Like, I've been saying I want to work with this guy since I was 15.
Wow.
And so then I thought, okay, well, you know how you have those, we all have had those moments where we say, if I ever got the opportunity to X, I would balls to the wall, right?
All the way.
And I'm thinking like, dang, this is my if I ever moment. And I'm blowing it, right? And so I gathered myself. He left out. He was like, yo, I'm not going to treat you no different than I treat everybody else. Write it again.
That's actually fair, though.
Yeah.
That was fair of him to do.
Write it again. I'm 22 years old. I'm a kid.
Right.
Write it again. Cool. He leaves out 15 minutes. Now I'm mad, though.
Yeah.
And he put his pants on one leg at a time, just like me. He ain't special, you know. So when he comes back, I have a whole song.
But that drove you, it sounds like.
100%.
It drove you.
100%. Most people fold.
Some will fold, pressure bust pipes. It
Right.
also makes diamonds.
There you go.
Right.
So he came back. I had a whole song. So he asked me to sing it. I sung it. Boom. He just staring at me, like ice grilling me, bro.
Wow.
And then he looked at me and said, sing it again. So I sung it again. And then he calls Jennifer Lopez in the room. They were dating at the time. Right? This is 2000.
So you just happened to write a song for Jennifer Lopez.
That was my first placement. Yep. And so I sung it for her. And then he asked her, you like it? She was like, yeah, I like it. He was like, all right, do you know how to work Pro Tools? He asked me. I didn't. What do you think I said?
Yeah.
Absolutely. You know how to work at SSL? I didn't. Once again, absolutely. Yeah, 100%. Right? And I cut it on her that night. And from there on, I was with Puff every day.
Wow.
Yeah.
Shouts out to you for that, brother. That's stepping up to the plate. Hard question right now.
Yep.
Who's the illest artist and the toughest artist that you had to prepare for? We're talking Mariah Carey. We're talking Beyonce, J-Lo, Chris Brown. The list goes on. Who's the one you ripped up the paper 4 or 5 times and threw it away before you got the record done?
Probably Gwen Stefani.
Gwen. How did I come? I mean, how did you just casually have Gwen Stefani?
Gwen Stefani
in the back pocket?
Yeah, probably Gwen. Only because with Mariah, she has a process that's very organic, right?
Okay.
So with Mariah, I didn't know what to expect. I just knew she was an incredible songwriter.
Sure.
But when you work with Mariah, you just write melodies for 3 days. There's like just a bunch of da 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 da. Just that for 3 days.
Wow.
On the last day, that's when she puts words to every syllable, right? And so that's much less pressure. That's editing. That's much less pressure, right? We're just editing notes, like da 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 da.
So you fit and feel the vibe, yeah.
Cool. Okay, right? With Gwen is also an incredible songwriter.
Okay.
She's sitting there with you, like, what do you got?
Oh, that's pressure.
Cherries on top and the scream in the I don't know, Gwen. Like, what do you want? Like,
this beat is bananas.
Like,
she's like, did you spell it though?
Because here's the deal.
Bananas?
Here's the deal, though, bro. When you write with her, she doesn't like that stuff. It's so crazy. Like when I asked her, like, because I went into it thinking, okay, well that's because that's what we know.
Right.
But she's really naturally, no doubt. That's who she really naturally is. Yeah, right. Like those songs. You know what I mean?
Right.
So
don't sting. You
see what I'm saying?
So now you have to. Okay, great question. Let's segue. How do you put yourself into another artist's body to write for them and their mindset? Do you study their music? Do you try to spend time with them? If you can't spend time with them, do you get to eat? Like, how do you absorb them to write for them?
I always study every artist before I work with them, only because I owe them that respect for their creativity, right? Me coming in unprepared is disrespectful.
For sure. Or trying to push your own
it's disrespectful to me.
Talent.
I would never do that to an artist, right? So I study every artist before I go in. Now, when we get in, I ask them, how do you feel today? What mood are you in? Up, mid-tempo, ballad, And then sometimes, well, not sometimes, 100% of the time, we will have just a regular conversation. Like we sitting here talking right now. We'll have a regular conversation, right? And the artist will say something or trigger something about an experience they had or something, and I'll say, that's the song. That's the song right there. And I immediately turn. I
know when you hit that point.
Yeah.
Because you are the Grammy 3-time award winner. And one of those Grammys was for Alicia Keys, My Boo with Usher. Mm-hmm. You already kind of knew Usher, so you was able to tap in with him. Mm-hmm. How was it bringing Alicia's energy into that and writing that record? And then, did you think it was a Grammy award-winning song when you wrote it?
So, the crazy thing is, Jermaine Dupri did the beat with Manuel Seal, right?
Okay.
Jermaine called me at like midnight and was like, yo, come to the studio. I'm like, who is this? It was like, it's JD.
Oh, you didn't even have his number? You just some random guy's calling you to come.
Who is this? Like, it's JD. Okay. Like, you know what I'm saying? He calls back, yo, come to the studio. Yo, it's JD. So I'm like, this might actually be JD.
I might want to go.
Yeah. So, all right. So, I drove to the studio or whatever. When we got there, JD told me the story of how when they were younger, Usher and Beyonce dated.
Oh.
Right? This was right as Beyonce and Jay was becoming a thing. Like, nobody knew yet. Well, I mean,
I think we just got a new exclusive.
Yeah, we knew.
On the What Do You Know About a Mortgage. Usher and Alicia Keys actually dated the same time Jay-Z and Beyonce started dating.
No, before.
Oh, before. Okay,
yeah, when they were younger, Usher and Beyonce had a thing before Beyonce and Jay-Z. So when Beyonce and Jay was becoming a thing, the industry knew. Nobody else really knew. And so JD and Jay are really good friends.
Okay.
And so, JD was like, I just kind of want to make a record like messing with Jay a little bit. Because Jay and B wasn't serious yet.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
It was just...
This is when he was still making rap songs like, I got somebody, but I don't. I remember that.
It wasn't serious.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so, JD and Jay-Z are really close friends. So, Jay wanted to just kind of do a little thing, messing with Jay-Z or whatever. And so originally we wanted Beyonce on the record.
Oh, wow.
So that's how I wrote it, because I had just worked with Beyonce in New York for her album, for Dangerous in Love, right? So we was doing it like that. And then it ended up not working out. She had to go on tour and the timing of it didn't work. And so we missed the window for her, right? So then they brought up Alicia Keys. When they brought up Alicia Keys, I was like, that could work. Cool. Yeah. So then Alicia came in. She did it wherever she was, came in, sent the lyrics back. Yo, is it okay if I change this and change that? JD was like, yeah, it's cool. Wow. Asked me, yeah, that's cool. It's Alicia Keys. Cool. Right. Change. If you want to change one word, I don't care. Like,
sure.
It's Alicia Keys.
Make it you. Yeah.
So I think she changed like a couple of words or something like that. And that was it, bro. And it came out, boom.
And did you have that feeling that it was special? I'm sure you did. But special to the point where it could really win a Grammy.
I did once I saw how LA reacted to it. LA Reid.
Okay.
When I saw how LA...
For the people who don't know out there, LA Reid, head executive at LaFace Records, big time with Babyface, and a big time producer as well.
Correct.
So go ahead.
No, so because LA was upset that he hadn't heard it. He was fighting mad.
Oh, wow.
That he hadn't heard it. And he was like, where is this random Usher record coming from? Why haven't I heard it? Like he was, spazzing on people.
Yeah.
And, I just heard him say, put every dollar we have into that.
Wow.
That's when I was like, okay.
That's a great feeling.
We might be all right with this one, mama.
Right. We might be paying some bills with this one, mama.
we might be all right. But that's when I thought that, yeah. And then once the album went on to sell 15 million.
Oh, my goodness. Confessions is one of my favorite albums of all time. Definitely from Usher, but just one of my favorites in general.
That's when I really thought we had a shot at the Grammys.
Speaking of that, you're going to segue into our next segment, which is Bet on Yourself.
Yeah.
Bet on Yourself is basically, what did you do? Where was a time period you can remember where the common person can say, man, I feel like I would have done the same thing, or maybe I wouldn't have. We know how it turns out, but what moment was the clarity moment where you had to bet on yourself, where you could have had that fork in the road moment, where you could have went this way and the established quo was what it was going to be, or you could take a lot of risk and bet on yourself, but the outcome would be great. When was that moment for you?
So going back to the Puff story, right? I used to work at a bank. I used to work at First Union.
Oh, okay.
I was 18, 19 years old. I did a demo. I sent my demo to Puff. My manager at the time had a relationship with a lady that worked at Bad Boy.
Okay.
So I sent my demo to them. She played it for Puff. Puff said, I don't need another artist, but who's writing the songs? And so she was like, he did. And so and then he said, all right, well, tell him if he could ever get to New York, I'll put him in the studio, right? So, like I said, I worked at a bank. I was making $700 every 2 weeks. Okay, this is 1999, 98,
okay,
right? I took my last $700, bought a bus ticket, had one night of hotel, and if it don't work out, a bus ticket back.
Wow.
I did not pay my rent. I wasn't worried about what was going to happen once I got back if I spent the whole $700.
Sure. You have to figure it out.
If you can get to New York, I'll put you in the studio was all I needed to hear.
Facts.
So I rode a 17-hour bus from Atlanta to New York at 22 by myself.
Yeah.
got to Bad Boy, walked into the office and asked to speak to, the lady's name was Fran Spiro. Walked into the office and said, "Can I speak to Fran Spiro, please?" And so they was like, who are you? I was just, tell her Adonis is down here. So she said, "Wait, what did he say his name is?" "Adonis." Okay. She came downstairs, a little short Italian lady. God rest her soul. I love Fran. She passed away recently. But she was like, "Oh my God, we've been looking for you. Puff was trying to get in touch with you. Da, da, da. You should go to the studio right now." That was at 12 noon. Puff comes at 8 o'clock that night. And that's when that story I just told you.
So you sat in the studio from 12 to 8?
I absolutely did.
And not knowing when he was going to show up or if he was going to show up?
He could have showed up 2 weeks later. I don't care. I just sat there.
That, ladies and gentlemen, is truly believing in yourself and betting on yourself. And that's what this segment's all about. It's about the risk takers. We want to reward the risk takers, the people who, bet with their heart and their spirit. And I think we all are better off from your records and you betting on yourself.
Man.
So
I appreciate
round of applause to you, my brother.
Thank you,
Thank you for that. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right, now we're going to jump into something real quickly here that I did want to ask you. You're now working with a beautiful soul, a warm heart, Christina DeBarge, the homegirl, man. And I know you guys are cultivating some incredible records that I've been fortunate enough to hear. How is it working with a major record label backing someone like, the bigger names we've already named, and then someone like Christina, who's now you're independent working it? It's all you guys, where you're motivating the crowd and controlling all of the content, which is better, but it's a lot harder. How is that working with her, and what are you excited about moving forward with her?
With labels, I think the conventional thought is that they don't make mistakes. They do. They just have the pocketbook to fix it.
Sure.
Right? Sure. With us, we don't have the opportunity to make mistakes.
Not the luxury to make up too many mistakes.
So we're far more intentional with the craft, right? We're far more like research driven, where we say, all right, where can she fit? Nobody's doing a song like this. Let's do that.
Got you.
You know what I mean?
And still staying true to your own art form and craft and creativeness.
Exactly. So, even with her look sometimes, okay, Doja Cat is doing that. Okay, Rihanna's doing that. Okay, Sweetie is doing this. Okay, Megan Thee Stallion is doing this. We can sit right here.
Got you.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And that's ultimately
how much more of your time do you find, and not to cut you off, sorry. No. How much more of your time do you find it being more research driven than creative driven?
Not as much as I would have thought it would have been, but it's definitely more than it would be with a major label, because with them, they just gave
they're presenting it to you.
Yeah,
they're packaging it.
Correct. Right. And they just cut me a check. All I'm supposed to do is turn in a song.
Yep.
That's it. Yep. With this, I'm managing the content. Sure. I'm managing the YouTube channel, the Instagram, the Spotify. Sure. I'm calling to get interviews. I'm like, you know what I mean? Sure. So I'm the label at that point.
Well, at any time, at any moment, anytime you guys want, whenever she would like to come on here,
man, we'd love to
have Christina on board and support her.
I will
and show
tell
her
that
love
for
as
sure.
Well, for sure.
Thank you, man.
Definitely.
Yeah.
All right, one last question before we get into what do you know about a mortgage?
Yep.
I got for you is, as far as sports go, we're going to jump into a quick segment because I know you're a big LeBron fan like I am.
You know it.
We got the finals going on right now. And this may appear in a little bit after the finals are off. Yeah. But who do you like in this series right now with the Suns in Milwaukee? Giannis is a little banged up. But so is Sark, which a lot of people don't realize that
it's going to hurt a little
when
bit.
When Deontay Ayton goes out, they don't have a Sark to bring in. They're going to have to bring in Frank the Tank, who moves a lot slower and don't got a jump shot. Yeah. So who do you like right now going in?
So my emotions and my heart, I want Chris Paul to win it so bad.
Absolutely.
I want him to win it so bad, right? I know this is going to sound very unfair. Giannis is only in year 8. Chris is double that. Yeah. So Giannis has plenty of opportunity.
You have a lot more opportunity.
You know what I mean?
Buck. Yeah.
And he's in his prime.
For sure.
Most players don't get to their prime to about year 6.
For sure.
Right? He's right smack in the middle of his prime. Yep. The fact that Chris is performing how he's performing in year 16.
Crazy.
32-9, 41-17. What?
Crazy.
Like, you know what I'm saying?
Putting
like
up them LeBron numbers.
What?
Yeah.
Dude, he's shorter than me. Like, you know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? So I really want Chris to win it just for the sake of him getting one
Yeah.
And him being a part of, because they crew is crazy. LeBron, him, D Wade, Melo.
Imagine what those pickup games are like at
Come on,
Lifetime
bro.
Athletic.
And then Chris is LeBron's children's godson. So
yeah, they're really close.
You know what I mean?
Close,
so
yeah.
that I know he obviously Braun want him to win one.
Exactly. That's just one for the guys club, for
yeah,
the good guys type of thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so,
that's where I'm going.
Awesome. So now we're at our favorite moment of what do you know about a mortgage? 1, 2, 3 LTV. All right, so I got 5 questions for you over here about what do you know about a mortgage.
Okay.
I'm going to lead you in 2 different directions. You can tell me what you know.
Okay.
Don't feel bad if you don't know.
Okay, cool.
Now, when you go to buy a home, you have to put down what's called earnest money deposit. It's a security deposit. My question to you is question 1, does your EMD go to the seller's pocket or does it go to your closing cost?
Closing costs.
Oh, boom, 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 boom.
Yeah.
Bingo.
Yeah.
Question number 2. Does DTI stand for double the interest or debt to income?
Debt to income.
Oh, he cheated, y'all. I'm telling you, he's cheating. I don't know where he's getting his answers from, but you got somebody back there, you mic'd up?
No, I just happen to have bought 4 houses in my life.
Okay, so he might know a little something. Question number 3. We're going to stomp him on this one.
You might get me on one.
When returning, when refinancing your loan, is it possible for you to roll closing costs into the loan?
Now this one you're gonna get me.
Find
the cost into the loan. No.
And told you we was gonna get him on this one. You can actually roll the closing costs into the loan if there's enough equity in the home. So you don't have to come out of pocket for your closing costs there.
I know that. I didn't know that. That's great.
Toughest question you have by far on this list. No, second is toughest.
Okay.
Is it possible to buy a home when you have a tax lien from the IRS?
Absolutely not.
This is why I love doing this.
This is great right here.
We're going to school you right quick.
Wow, this is great. Come on.
So they changed it to where now as long as you have a tax payment, if I go to the IRS and I can now sign up for a payment plan, the underwriter can now take that into your debt.
Oh, that's semantics. But
let's get more people qualified. Get more people qualified. Hey. All right, toughest question by far. This definitely for sure is going to throw it off.
Okay.
Who should you call, DM, or email when you want to know more about mortgages?
Loan Depot.
And who specifically should you call? This guy right here. My brother. It's been a pleasure, man.
Yeah, wonderful, bro.
You guys already know on What Do You Know About a Mortgage? We are just generally shooting to be different. I don't want to be like nobody else. I want to bring in Grammy Award winners and people in different fields and lives and walks and celebrate them and let you learn more about them, as I think they're cool as well, but also bring it back into mortgages so we can find out what we truly need to know to buy from all demographics, from young to old. What can we do to help you get into a mortgage, into a home, or refinance, or just answer questions for you and your family? With all love and sincerity, I appreciate y'all. Y'all take care. We have...